WEFM 99.9.
It's 4 minutes on to the hour of 11 a.m. You're locked on to the Green First Sound with FM 99.9. It's time for our Shakeup's program. Today's Shakeup's program scripture reading will be taken from Psalms 35 verses 1 to 3. Plead my cause, O Lord, with them that strive with me. Fight against them that fight against me. Take hold of shield and buckler and stand up for my help. Draw out also the spear and stop the way against them that persecute me. Say unto my soul, I am that salvation. That was your Shakeup scripture reading taken from Psalm 35 verses 1 to 3. You're locked on to the Green First Sound with FM 99.9. Remember, Shakeup is an interactive program. So the numbers to call 457-9997. The numbers to call again 457-9997. Also to be interactive on WhatsApp or text as well, or call. The numbers to call or text 457-9997. Today's Shakeup's host will be Mr. Augustine Ferdinand.
Thank you very much, Richie. Good morning to you and morning to the listeners of WEFM Star Radio and Garifuna Radio. Greetings to those of you who are joining us abroad in the diaspora, USA, Canada, the United Kingdom, and across the continent of Europe. First of all, I want to apologize for the very late start this morning. I experienced some vehicle mechanical issues, so I had to hitch a ride, come down to WEFM. But nonetheless, we are here. And as usual, it's an interactive program, and the number to call and get interactive with us is 457-9997. That's 457-9997 to get interactive with the program. I know as we speak, many persons more or less journey into Cumberland Plainfield, many farmers, that is, as the farmers' consultation or agricultural consultation will be taking place at the Cumberland Plainfield. And of course, there you will have the Minister of Agriculture, his the different public servants in the Ministry of Agriculture, and also the parliamentary rep of North Leeward, Honorable Carlos James. And I know that various transportation taking crosses to and back their location. So that is taking place this morning at Cumberland Plainfield. I know the previous one for North Windward was postponed due to inclement weather conditions. And the first one was at Richland Park Government. I know after this one, the next consultation will be taking place at the Green Hill Hard Court. So yes, there will be another consultation at the Green Hill Hard Court, which will be today's the 19th. So that will be tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow for farmers in the Kingston zone. So you're talking about East Kingston, West Kingston, and Central Kingston. And of course, you walk along with your ID and farmer's ID and the like, because there are also some items that farmers will receive after these consultations wrap up. So for those of you in North Windward, even though the consultation there was postponed, there's yet a new date to be set, but there will be a consultation for you. Now, I know this morning as well, we have a vessel from the UK here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Well, that will come here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines with relief supplies. So it's not here, but it will arrive here shortly during the duration of the week with supplies. As you know, there are still a lot of work being done. Homes already, the repair work has started on them. I saw the Nemo social media site. They've posted some photos of some homes that they worked on or where work was done. As I recall, the government is starting with homes that are deemed or coded to be level 1 and level 2 or lower. damages, which mean they're not significant damages done on those homes. So let's say partial roofing or entire roofing. And as persons within the shelters, because as you know, some homes are covered with tarpaulin. So once you get a good bit of those homes that are level 1, level 2 or lower in terms of damages, then persons who are in the shelters and where those homes are basically repaired in terms of the roofing and the like, they can return home. Also, the government is finding alternative accommodation for the persons in shelters whose homes may have received a more significant damage, structural and otherwise, as we prepare school for reopening, as in the new school year. And speaking of reopening of schools, I know this week also is professional development for teachers across St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So a lot is taking place as we prepare for the new school year, 2024 2025. Well, like I said, the ship from the United Kingdom will be coming here filled with a lot of aid and relief supplies. Basically, where we continue to recover as we continue to provide relief. So that ship will arrive later this week. I think MV Bruchanja from Kestrel Liner Agencies. So that will be arriving here this week. Now, I see there's a buzz putting into the arrival of dancehall artist Vibes Cartel, or his official government name is Adidja Palmer. Vibes Cartel is just the music name, but his real name is Adidja Palmer of Jamaica. And since the arrival of Vibes Cartel, I haven't said anything pertaining to Vibes Cartel. Till they will be the first. I'm saying it because I see some comments that I don't think is rather necessary. Given his arrival here, first of all, Vibes Cartel or Adidja Palmer is here in St. Vincent and Grenadines to receive medical attention for his own illness or disease, some call it Graves' disease. And it's not the first time that persons, foreigners, and I won't even deem a CARICOM national as a foreigner, because you're a CARICOM national, we share same Caribbean space, but given the legal term of what an alien citizen is, it may be deemed as a foreigner. But nonetheless, he's here to receive treatment. And it's not the first. We've had persons, including professional athlete Kirana James from Grenada, another CARICOM citizen. In 2017, thereabout, came here for Graves' disease treatment. I've interacted and knew of persons, particularly from Barbados and St. Lucia, who arrived here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines for dialysis at Modern Medical Diagnostic Center. And we know of many parents who come with their children or infants for surgeries to be performed on them via World Pediatric Project at the Milton Kitty Memorial Hospital. Invasive surgeries. So, Adidja Palmer, aka Vibes Cartel, made his own personal choice to come to St. Vincent and the Grenadines to receive such treatment. That is his personal choice, it's his own money. And I don't see what is the big fuss especially where someone, with their own personal choice, their own money, chose our own country to receive health treatment. As a matter of fact, it bodes well for us. And it speaks testimony as to our own healthcare system. I mean, look, I'm just going to say this now. No system is without flaws. None. None whatsoever. You'll have hiccups here and there. That's a fact. But by and large, as much as I've heard persons locally try to chastise the healthcare system that we have, and our healthcare system comprises of both public and private, because at times they work hand in hand. So both public and private, that makes up the healthcare system of our country. But despite the criticisms leveled against the system, no one can deny that it is quite affordable or dirty cheap in terms of public health care. And many persons who sought treatment, who received surgeries in our healthcare facilities, including Milton Kitty Memorial and the like, were treated and recovered. Many persons. Now, the harsh reality is that you don't often hear the success stories of those who recovered, because obviously, I mean, some may say it doesn't make sense. The reason why you go to a medical facility, including a hospital, is to receive treatment and to recover from illnesses. That's the task of these facilities, these institutions, and therefore, where they've been successful as you would like them to be, it shouldn't be no big story. I could understand that in person's argument. However, I believe in giving thanks nonetheless, because things could have gone the other way. But what do you often hear? You don't hear the good stories. You often hear those that are deemed not so good. And the other thing I want to say that is that even in the top tier health facilities in the world with advanced scientific technology to do invasive surgeries and give treatments, even they too cannot heal, treat, and prevent death in some instances. Sometimes it is what it is. Doctors do all they can with what they have, but nonetheless, when the Lord called you home, you got to go home. As simple as that. And I sometimes believe some persons think that doctors are miracle workers. And then when they lost a loved one, or where they believe that things could have gone differently, you start to get the blame. The health professionals and the system start to get the blame. But sometimes it is just what it is. They did all they could, and therefore you had to go meet the maker. But overall, those who recovered, those who were treated, by far outweigh those who went there and lost life and the like. And sometimes I believe that we don't commend our healthcare professionals as much as we should. But I say all that to say that we have a good healthcare system in our country that is quite affordable, or in some cases very cheap, heavily subsidized by the state, and where we now have different specialists in our country where we have the services of MRI in our country, where we have chemotherapy services, where we have kidney dialysis services, where the different rural health facilities, including polyclinics, you now have maternity services and extra services. You have a doctor at these medical facilities in rural areas, especially polyclinics. And therefore, we continue to make strides. And the government is embarking on building the modern acute referral hospital at Annesville, which, again, will further advance our secondary and tertiary healthcare services in the country. So, yes, Vibes Cartel is here. No doubt that there's increased exposure, and that is the country, because he has millions of followers around the world, not just in the Caribbean, but around the world. And with him being here, exercising, receiving treatment and the like, and where that continued to be displayed on his own social media pages, it gives additional exposure of St. Vincent and Grenadines to the wider world. And it talks well, again, for our own healthcare system, where persons would inquire as to what services, health services, that they can receive here in St. Vincent and Grenadines. So I see some persons trying to bat out the country, say why he chose St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Some insert politics into it ever since he more or less give both the wishes to Prime Minister Gonzalez, which again, anyone can. You can't stop people from sending both the greetings, but we should be happy that our country is getting the exposure. We should be happy that someone sees and believes in our healthcare system. And let's not trash it all, and sometimes I have a problem where persons who deem themselves as patriots join in line to bring down their own country. When you start to bring down your own country because of nefarious reasons, political or otherwise, then you're not a patriot. But it's now 1:15 of 11 o'clock, so we'll take a commercial break and then resume with the crux of the program this morning.
WEFM 99.9.
The flavor nice, it's locally made. Affordable price, Lord, up to $3 retail. When you see we line it, with the red and white gas, show me what you like it. It's cigarette from Empire, Holdings Limited. It's cigarette from Empire, Holdings Limited. With over 60 years experience. Hold the best tobacco, best ingredients. Yeah. This is your boy Lou to say, support local, buy your cigarettes from Empire Holdings Limited. 10 cigarettes in a pack for up to $3 retail. Remember, smoking is not for minors.
Boy, so where you getting crashing on? Your brakes real good, boy.
Now brakes alone good enough. My tires good too.
Tires? Where you get them tires, boy?
Out by Caribbean Tire Plus, man. They out in Addersville. Can't miss it. Look for the orange container on them. Plenty parking space and open 7 days a week all thing, man. Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And on Sundays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Call them today. Caribbean Tire Plus, 784-432-4786 or email ctiresplus@gmail.com.
Ready, set, surf. Singer, your favorite family store is now online. Log on today at www.singersvg.com and enjoy our store and products right at your fingertips. Now online are your trusted brands that you have come to love. Refrigerators to chest freezers, gas cookers to toasters, air fryers, mattresses, living room sets, and so much more. Browse our products, check the specs, compare brands and prices, and request parts all online. We have also made bill payments easier, more convenient, and simpler just for you. Log on to www.singersvg.com to learn more. Singer, your family company is keeping up with you and the times. Visit our website today and experience a whole new world of Singer, your trusted online family company.
General Hardware still has the best prices on steel, lumber, and plywood. So go on, compare prices. And if by chance you find a better price, no stress. Just talk to the General, and they will beat that price plus give you special priority delivery. Yes, General Hardware offers free island-wide delivery on most purchases, so you never have to worry about getting your goods on site on time. Plus, shopping at General Hardware is a pleasant experience with friendly, knowledgeable staff always ready to serve. What more could you wish for, huh? So come to General Hardware for proper service, lowest prices, free delivery, and see why nobody beats the General. Nobody.
WEFM 99.9, home of quality programming. A source of reliable news and information. Home of legendary voices and music. WEFM 99.9, the clean fresh sound. Visit us online at www.999wefm.com or call 457-9994. WEFM 99.9, the clean fresh sound.
99.9, the heart and soul of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. WEFM is SGG.
So yes, we are back in studio of WFM. I am your host, Augustine. Ferdinand. Remember the number to call, 457-9997. That's 457-9997 to get interactive with the program. So as I was saying before we took the commercial break, let's just, be happy that he's here, that I'm talking about Vibes Cartel, Mr. DJ Palmer, who is a dancehall icon, as many persons in Jamaica and elsewhere will say. But he's here receiving treatment. Let's wish him well. And it's good exposure, not only for the entire St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but even in terms of our own healthcare. Yeah? Now, today's program, I first of all want to congratulate the 22 recipients of Taiwanese scholarship. It's amazing when in the earlier period, Taiwanese scholarship was given as we strengthened our relations with the government and people of Taiwan, that you only had about 3, sometimes 2 recipients. Now we're reaching up to double digit, 22 persons for this year. And it says and speaks a lot of the commitment and the friendship between both governments and people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the government and people of Taiwan. Over the many years so far, we've had about 291 persons, students, benefiting from Taiwanese scholarship. You hear me? About 291. And the reason I'm speaking of this is that we must always remember, I'm speaking to those of you in your homes, those of you who have children, and where they also wants to go abroad and study, or may want a scholarship, and where these opportunities are available. And where the NDP, the opposition that is, as a political party, the main opposition, has a one China policy which proposes that if they were to win the election, they will cut relations with the government and people of Taiwan and switch to mainland China. And those of you who have your own children in Taiwan, you have to think about that in the upcoming elections, because there are experiences in the past, even only this year, where various member states cut ties with Taiwan, and where I have knowledge where a student committed suicide, because what happened is that with the immediate cut of ties, the students from that country has to leave Taiwan. And not only do they have to leave Taiwan, obviously they lose the scholarship altogether. So because they didn't finish the study, and they have to leave, they're at a loss. And a student actually committed suicide over that. They get depressed and the like, and no one wants that. I remember the leader of the opposition in this country said, when that question was posed to him, he said, well, they could transfer their credits to a university in mainland China. No, that's not the case, actually. So these are things that we have to think about. But again, I want to congratulate the 22 students who received these scholarships. And like I said, so far, since these scholarships are provided, we've had 291 of them who were recipients and who successfully finished their program since the inception of this scholarship initiative in 2004. And there's an important thing to write down too. I mean, we've had relations with the government and people of Taiwan for many years, but it's only 2004, the first term of the Unity Labour Party government, that we saw fruitful discussion and this scholarship program introduced. And since then, we've seen the numbers grown up to 22 persons receiving scholarships. And I will tell you this also, those who pursue programs in Taiwan, even Kenton Chance, I know Kenton Chance now and then hosts Voices program here, who is the proprietor of Eyewitness News, and he is a recipient of Taiwanese scholarships. He's fluent in Mandarin, which is another value added, because with the opportunity, you, as someone who speaks English, you're then afforded the opportunity of learning Mandarin. And given the growth of Chinese economy and various cultural exchanges around the world and the opportunities that are available, it isn't a bad thing to learn Mandarin. It's quite valuable. And there's also the opportunity for those who study in Taiwan, where they themselves can become English teachers and actually make an income over there. So there are many fronts in terms of the opportunities and the benefits. And along with that, you also have where the government and people of Taiwan, they do fund initiatives like YES program. They also fund SET program and non-SET program, which are programs that offer training for young persons. So YES program, the Youth Empowerment Service, that they basically pay you a stipend to receive experience or training in the public sector. Public and private sector, you have SET program support for education and training, which basically offers the opportunity in learning or receiving an experience within the public service itself, and where persons who completed college and university, they can apply. And I know application date ended, and I know they're currently going through the applications for final decision. And we do that every year. And we had the recently introduced on-site program, which is offering national support for internship, training, and employment. I know of different businesses who sign up for this initiative. It's primarily private sector focused, a 6-month program where many persons sign up to receive training and the experience within the private sector. So you have SET program, which is public sector, government only. You have YES program, which is mixed, both public and private sector in terms of training. And you have on-site program offering national support for internship, training, and employment, which is private sector based. And I will tell you this, I know early this year, in February, many persons within the private sector, employers, this is how the process actually works. They sign up for the program. They may tell the government that, okay, we would like at least maybe 2 persons or 1 who sign up for on-site to be attached to my business place. And of course, they will outline the skills that they may demand. And based on the applicants, the government will send, let's say, Ricky and Susan, who have different certain type of skills to that particular business. And they're attached to that business for a 6-month base, 6 months duration. And then the proprietor may, at the end of that 6 months, they will, of course, all of them have to write a review on the interns who are attached to the business. And at that end, the proprietor employer, well, the owner of the business may say, well, you know, I see there's significant value in this person attached here, and I'll employ them. And actually, the last period, I think about 76 of the persons were actually employed, and that's part of the objective of on-site program. That is why it says offering national support for internship, training, and employment, because part of the objective of the program is to get young persons employed. So the likelihood that after your training is up, the employer is well pleased with your performance, and given the skill set that you have, they employ you, and that helps to increase the employment rate, and of course offering an employment opportunity to a young person. And this continues to work, so it's continuing this year. And that is why I had to chuckle and I continue to smile. I noticed the NDP kind of lower down on it a bit, but they still have it out there where they have this youth guarantee pledge telling you that vote for them so that young people can have an opportunity to learn a skill and train and an opportunity to be employed. When in reality, that is already happening under the government. So I talked about Taiwan's contribution to YES program, SET program, on-site program. I went in depth as in how the on-site program works. And all of them, you get the government basically pay them to train. So that's another thing. But also you have additional programs. So you have skills training program under YET initiative. You have the various technical institutes across the country where they offer skills training program and the like. So these things exist. So there are significant opportunities out there for young persons. And I will tell you also with Taiwan, even Mr. Shaw, who was here, who used to do the morning program at WEFM, he studied in Taiwan as well. I know he's currently working under a particular program within the public sector as communications officer. But all of them who study in Taiwan, most of them, they return, they give valuable contribution. Like I mentioned, Kenton Chance, everyone will know him as the proprietor of Eyewitness News. Many will say that his news site may be the more or less the largest online publication and news site in the country. You have many others who return in engineering, architecture. You have James Campbell, who is part of the Youth Advisory Council. He studied architecture. He is currently not only in the council, but providing guidance in terms of how we rebuild after the impact of Hurricane Beryl, and given his own knowledge and expertise on the matter. You have Lorenzo Bacchus, who has Bacchus Construction and Design Company, which also operates in St. Vincent. He went to GPU State Secondary, he went to Technical Division, and received a scholarship and go to Taiwan, learning engineering. And there are many others, those who did journalism and those who did computer engineering and software development and the like. So many of them harness different skills and knowledge along with learning a second language. And we continue to see the relationship between the government of St. Vincent and Grenadines and the government of Taiwan. It continues to develop. They're integrally involved in the funding of different initiatives, including the Acute Referral Hospital that I mentioned. I know recently given relief efforts that the Taiwan has pledged over 100 tons of rice and 2 containers of school supplies for women and children, valuing over $200,000 US in aid. They were involved in agriculture, for example, and science and medicine. So there's a lot. And the relationship between the government and people of Taiwan and St. Vincent and Grenadines continues to grow. And I don't think any right-thinking Vincentian, honestly, will wish to see that relationship cease. And that is why I remind those of you listening this morning that it is the NDP's plan to cut that relations because they don't see it as fruitful enough. They want to embrace China, and persons can read up a lot. I have nothing against Chinese civilization. I won't speak about the domestics in mainland China. Every state has a right to pursue what they want. Save and except to say that we've had good and long-standing relations with Taiwan. Taiwan has a right to self-determination. They have their own political expression that is separate and different than that of mainland China. And we work together, and no one would want to see this relationship cut. No one will surely want to see our students having to return home not completing their programs as well. So it is very important that we think of all these things, as that time gets closer and closer, where we have to make that ultimate decision as to who we'll prefer to be in government and maintain governance here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Now, there's another development that is taking place that I want us to read off more and monitor closely. And I want to read it out here this morning, despite I know some personal skepticisms. But it says, CAFA monitors monkeypox situation and urges member states to be vigilant. And CAFA is the body within the region, the Caribbean Public Health Agency that advises member states within the region as to how to respond to whether epidemic or, as we've seen before, with COVID, a pandemic and any other health emergency or issue that is of concern to them. So that is CAFA. and they're based in Trinidad, but the advice, like I said, the different institutions, health institutions across the region and government. So that's Caribbean Public Health Agency. And I just want to read where it says monkeypox was declared a public health emergency of international concern on the 14th of this month by the World Health Organization following an upsurge of infections by the virus in the Democratic Republic of Congo. It goes on to say that it is the highest level of global alert, recognizing the potential threat this virus poses to countries around the world. And it is the second declaration in 2 years. It goes on to say, and this is where CARFA now is talking, because there are reported cases of monkeypox in some Caribbean countries. You've had also the United Kingdom, Canada, some Latin American states as well. And therefore, it's starting to raise slight alarm. And that is why CARFA is now asking member states to monitor the situation. And it says, and I quote, CARFA is monitoring the situation closely. The current risk to Caribbean population from monkeypox, Clade 1b, is low to moderate, as no cases have been identified in CARFA member states. It goes on to say, however, the identification of the first case of Clade 1b outside of Africa is a warning call for public health authorities to be vigilant and necessitates enhanced surveillance by all Caribbean countries, inclusive of monitoring of incoming passengers and rapid early identification of potential cases, and a well-coordinated regional and international response. And that is from Dr. Lisa Endar, who is the interim executive director of CARFA. And monkeypox didn't just come about, so before persons start to formulate their own theories, this thing has been in existence since 1970s, thereabout, mainly in parts of Africa. But we live in a globalized environment where global travel makes things easy also to travel, including viruses. All it takes is for 1 or 2 cases not to be detected in a country, and given the way how they spread, it spread via the air and surfaces as well. If you touch a surface, you can spread by that. If you have an open cut and the like, can also spread by that. So given the ease of how it spreads in terms of the transmission, and how global travel is much easier to do than before, you can leave parts of Africa today, and by the next 2 days you're in North America, or leave parts of Africa and by tomorrow or the next day reaching Antigua. And that is why Antigua, for example, has started their own surveillance, given that they also have flights coming out of the continent. So this is something I just bring to your attention so that you can research more and read up on more and follow a bit as we look at how things develop. It says, however, that currently 2 monkeypox vaccines have been approved by WHO-listed national regulatory authorities. And I know that persons still hesitant a bit in terms of hesitancy based on the survey I saw across the Caribbean, hesitant towards vaccine. But again, you have to listen to the health professionals, and you can't play with these sort of things. Persons are still suffering negatively from long COVID, the long-term effects of it. So these are just things that I think we have to stay more abreast on and pay more attention to. But it's now 20 minutes to the hour of 12 o'clock. So we'll take a short commercial break and then resume with the program.
WEFM 99.9.
The flavor nice, it's locally made. Affordable price, Lord, up to $3 retail. When you see we line with the red and white case, show me what you like. It's cigarette from Empire, Holdings Limited. It's cigarette from Empire, Holdings Limited. With over 60 years experience, hold the best tobacco, best ingredients. Yeah. This is your boy Lou to say, support local, buy your cigarettes from Empire Holdings Limited. 10 cigarettes in a pack for up to $3 retail. Remember, smoking is not for minors.
Lynch Caribbean Brokers is here to innovate how your insurance works for you. Here to design and deliver insurance solutions, proven solutions tailored to your business. Solutions from our global network of insurance experts, which all comes with an indigenous Vinci touch of excellence. We're more than just insurance brokers, SVG. We're your trusted risk advisors. Lynch Caribbean always has your back. Contact us today for insurance solutions, strategic risk advisory, and more. Call 453-3300, email info@lynchcaribbean.com, or visit our office at Beachmont, Kingstown.
This is with summer. Get ready for the biggest and wildest deals from Flow. Summer comes with the best deals for ya. Switch it up with this is with summer. Flow says this is with summer. We summer. Hey. Who got the best deals? It's Flow. Bundle postpaid Wi-Fi you go. Go to billing home, save more for sure. This is with summer. Bundle broadband now with postpaid and get your bill cut in half. Plus get up to 4 Samsung smartphones for only $4. 15,000 in cash is that. 15,000 in cash, win that. Win 15,000 in cash when you sign up, switch up, top or pay up with Flow. Summer, Flow says this is we summer, we summer. Hey. Flow, keeping you connected. Terms and conditions apply.
Lanes is your Vincentian family store. We give you quality service and you save more. We add value to your household, that's for sure. At Lanes, our customers always come first. For your family needs, come on in. Construction, household, and clothing. Our friendly staff is ready to help. Get more and save more. Remember, at Lanes, our customers come first. We thank you for making Lanes your family store for value. Lanes, your family store for value.
Whether you're ripping it up on the highway or taking a casual Sunday drive, OT Tire Limited is second to none when delivering excellence at reasonable prices. We offer new and used tires, tire repair and installation. We are the only place that offers nitrogen, which helps with gas consumption and ride comfort. Supplying you with brand name tires like Maxxis, Kumo, Good Ride, Westlake, and Triangle.
Boom! Enjoy the VIP style customer waiting lounge with refreshments and free Wi-Fi. You know what I'm saying, yo? This is Skinny Fabulous, and when it comes to tires, nobody makes it easier than OT. Boom! Got me run the road. With me OT tire.
Follow OT Tire on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter today.
Hey, boom! Run the road with OT tires.
99.9, the heart and soul of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. WEFM is SVG.
So yes, we are back in studio of WEFM. I am your host, Augustine Ferdinand. Remember the number to call, 457-9997. That's 457-9997. So I mentioned, what Kafa said, that we have to increase surveillance and monitor the monkeypox situation. I know, like I mentioned, Antigua has done so. I remember in 2022, because while the world was dealing with the pandemic, I remember very well where monkeypox was also a case was identified in Africa and then had in China. I know in Antigua at the time, I believe it was in October 2022, 22, you had suspicious cases that were tested in Antigua. And they too now, the Antiguan government has stepped up their own monitoring and surveillance, and so too the government of Barbados. So again, like I said, you be more vigilant, research more about it. Like I said, it spreads. It spreads via, air, and well, not totally air, but basically close contact. Similar to COVID, if you sneeze and the like, but also where you have cuts or broken skin, and you touch a particular surface, you can be infected as well. But there are persons who are talking about school reopening and are wondering if school may be opened on time. I saw some persons even saying that it may have to push back for a month, which I doubt very much, because there's significant progress taking place with repairing of schools. I know some schools already started repair work. I know the officials at NEMO are working aggressively and very hard in getting more persons out of the shelters that are schools so that they can get them ready. So I will tell you again, purchase the books, get things in order. The mere fact that we have Professional Development Week in this week tells you that they're also, the teachers are preparing for the reopening of school. The thing is, the government is handling this very well as we continue to deal with the impact of Beryl. Homes already being repaired. I want to say this, persons who are traversing alongside the National Archives and Public Library area, or opposite the Ministry of Agricultural Office, will see that they're already cordoning off or fencing the property or the two properties above National Archives. As persons may or may not know or remember, that the government already secured funding for the building of a modern High Court and a modern Parliament. And those two locations are where, actually just below where Coca Company has the office, will be the High Court, and then the one just above Archives for the modern Parliament. I know that some workmen already started doing some more or less demolition in some cases, as you may want to call that, and getting that site prepared. So while the government is dealing with relief and recovery, there are other projects that the government is pushing ahead, including the hospital project, as persons will see. The fencing of the northern part of the E.T. Joshua tarmac, or the decommissioned E.T. Joshua Airport. And again, I will remind persons that it is only the Unity Labour Party that has a plan, a real plan, as to what we do with the vast acres of land that we have, the state that is, because it's all state lands, at the decommissioned E.T. Joshua Airport. And that tells you who is serious about real development of our country. No other political party has ever formulated a plan as to what they'll want to see in that particular area in terms of their own vision. And that is also because only the Unity Labour Party has the vision. And the hospital will be an anchor project for the rolling out of the further development of a modern city at Arnesville. I know persons will already say, well, Ferdinand, Arnesville in and of itself is already appearing like another city. And you may be quite right, because we already have from various health facilities at Arnesville, including animal care, supermarkets, Bank of St. Vincent and Grenadines, automated teller machines, food courts, stores, appliance, vehicular services. You have restaurants and bars, you name it. There are many things now at Arnesville that didn't exist before. Different supermarkets, electronic stores, and the like. So you may be indeed quite right if you say that, Arnesville in and of itself is already like a city, given different businesses that have established themselves under the economic environment created by the government of St. Vincent and Grenadines. I know some persons don't like to hear that, but facts is facts. Arnesville has transformed from a residential place to highly commercial. And you only simply have to walk Arnesville or drive Arnesville to see it before your very eyes. And with this anchor project, which is the acute referral hospital, you'll see more investments rolled out, because with the acute referral hospital, you have to have new road infrastructure, drainage and the like, and that too will accelerate for the development, making it ripe for investment. And therefore we all have to commend the government for continuing to keep and deliver on the promises made to you by the people, to you, the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And like I remind you again, it is only the Unity Labour Party that has a plan as to what we do with the vast acres of land which belongs to the state. No other political party has ever formulated a plan or vision for that area. And that tells you who is truly interested in development, because it makes sense that you ask the people to elect you into government, but have no plan for the vast space of land. It means that you want to leave it just vacant, and we see where normally animals roam at that particular area, but you can't leave it vacant. You have to develop it. So that is something, as I mentioned, the fencing of the northern part of the tarmac, and also where persons will see that work more or less has begun in terms of fencing and the like, and where they start to remove roofing material of those old buildings where the modern High Court and modern Parliament is to be built. Similarly to persons will continue to see advanced work on the modern port, and where the administrative building already you see some painting there. But I see we have a call, so let's take this call. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Shakeup.
I just thought I'd remind you, Mr. Ferdinand, that St. Vincent is a very young country too,
Yes.
Only began in 79.
Yes.
And that also was a year of a volcano.
Yes.
And that we are very young, and therefore, when you go back, when you say things like that, you kind of distort history to me, because those things were not possible in the year 79 when we got our independence. I just thought I'd tell you that.
What things weren't possible?
What's that?
What things weren't possible then?
For instance, the building of houses for people.
Okay.
That was not that was not at all in the progress of St. Vincent. We couldn't even get to that stage as yet when it comes to the production of the progress of our country. We had just begun.
Well, one of the things I do know, and I think I saw some of those existing today, where There were actually homes built by Cato government.
But not on the scale.
Correct. Not
They
on the
helped
scale. That is
as
true.
much as they could have.
Correct.
But this country didn't have any money for all those kinds of things. They were just kind of beginning.
Correct. Not on the
All
scale
right,
or that we see now. Correct. But I didn't
Yeah,
want.
I just thought maybe when you keep on saying the ULP is the first that ever thought of building houses, it distorts history slightly. And I just thought I'd mention it.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Ferdinand.
Thank you. Yes, not on the scale that we see today, in hundreds. But there is no doubt in anyone's mind that given what we see with Arnesville itself, the progress that has been made under the economy, and that is why when you hear some persons say that, and I hear the leader of the opposition and the opposition on a whole talk about it, saying that the economy has receded under the government, or we've heard instances in the past where they said that the economy is bankrupt. Now they're latched on to this cost of living thing. But what you see before your eyes in Arnesville, in Bookament, at Diamond, in Georgetown, even in Chateaubelair, and other parts, including Mesopotamia, you also have in parts of the Grenadines, including Kanawan, even Bequia. They are not indicators of our receding economy. They are indicators of a far-growing economy, and you can have these investments only where people have money to spend based on the services that these companies are providing, including Calaqua itself. Calaqua is a town, and we see more businesses pop in Calaqua more than before, including distribution businesses. Camden Park continues to grow with manufacturing businesses and even construction companies. So these are not signs of a receding economy or struggling economy, more or less. Yes, we've experienced our own fair share of challenges, but despite the challenges, due to government's own intervention, policy interventions, that these things continue to remain possible. Look, for instance, Paul's Avenue was once a highly residential area. Paul's Avenue was a place highly stigmatized. What do they go to Paul's Avenue? It's highly commercial, with a lot of small and medium-sized businesses. Similarly too, as you walk uptown and even downtown. So we've transformed significantly over the many years, and we continue to grow under the economy created by the Unity Labour Party government. So with that, it's now midday here in St. Vincent and Grenadines. I think we see a call coming. All right, that would be, we're basically midday. So another time we'll take the call. But Rajiv is already here in studio with us. Like I said, there's the consultation taking place at Cumberland this morning. Tomorrow it's supposed to be Green Hill at the Hard Court. And remember to walk with your farmer's ID, because there are other things that will be distributed after the consultations.